Back in my magazine days, I met Martin Truex Jr. I introduced myself to him and he said, I know, I read some of your articles. And that was just a cool moment for me in my RC career. Fast forward to now, and Losi has released a 1/12 scale NASCAR, and I'm sure you can imagine which car I picked. And there it is, the Martin Truex Jr. number 19 Bass Pro Shop licensed Toyota. What a great looking car, and what a great experience just getting it in this box. It almost looks like a die-cast car in the box. That's how well they did. I like the sleeve on it. Very cool setup, and this is a completely ready-to-run RC car for those of you that are new watching the channel. Really easy to get into. If you're not a Toyota fan or a Martin Truex Jr. fan, they do have other options available. They have licensing with Ford and GM and a number of other drivers, which I'll have listed down in the video description below, along with affiliate links so you can purchase the car. So let's take a quick look at the body shell. It's actually a mix of decals and printed graphics, very vibrant obviously, and they have a lot of the licensing that's on the real car. I like that they've got the spoiler out back, a little lip in the front, and the body is held on simply with 4 body clips. And the RC world's been moving away from body clips, but it's kind of fine here because the real car has hood pins. Obviously the decals and graphics and the licensing will change out with each car depending on which model you pick up, but that is a great looking NASCAR. The price on these is $179.99. Here's what's tucked away inside the box along with the car. You get a Spectrum SLT2 radio system. This is powered by 4 AA's, which they give you. This little plug right here, this is called a bind plug. If your radio ever stops talking to the car, you may need to rebind it, and this little plug assists with that in the receiver. They give you a 1400 2S battery pack and a charger. This is a USB charger. Then they give you an instruction manual, of course, read through it, a Losi decal, and then this sheet right here. This is pretty cool. Losi has a number of option parts for this. And the reason why this is so cool is, one, you could go and upgrade your NASCAR, but if you're an ARMA fan, some of these parts will actually fit your ARMA ground vehicle as well. And now let's take a look under the hood at the 4-wheel drive on-road electric chassis. And I did say 4-wheel drive, not rear-wheel drive like a real NASCAR. Losi went with a 4-wheel drive car because they're just much easier to drive. Most likely, a lot of people buying these are going to be NASCAR fans that have never driven an RC car before, and it's going to be just much easier for them to drive. And to the purists that are thinking, well, it should have just still been 2-wheel drive, well, NASCARs aren't electric either. So there's a lot of differences between an RC car and a full-scale car, and this setup is just going to work well for anyone. Now, I've gone over this chassis before, but let's take a quick look at this. We've got a large front bumper that helps just protect the front end of the car. And then the chassis itself is specific to Losi. This is not an ARMA chassis. You can even see it has the Losi logos on the bottom. They've got Nerf bars on the side just to help give that body a little extra support. This tunnel right here is where the center drive shaft is for the 4-wheel drive system. This car has independent suspension. Those are oil-filled shocks right there, and they even have little collars so you could adjust the springs to raise and lower the car a little bit and adjust the handling. It's got a double wishbone suspension set up front and rear. These are nice solid arms. These arms go out to captured steering knuckles and steering links, which won't pop off when you're rubbing fenders with your racing buddies. And the rear setup is pretty close to the same. The only big change is it has a solid outer rear hub. Not too many adjustments out of the box for the shock setup, but you can go and change out oils. For steering, it has a dual bell crank setup and a servo savers. And then into the driveline, it has a front and rear gear differential. These are the V2 style of differential, so they have metal gears on the inside, metal ring and pinion, but there is 2 plastic sun gears on the inside. Just be aware of that. They do have a full metal option if you want to go and upgrade later. Metal dog bones and sealed ball bearings throughout the car. The dog bones go out to licensed Goodyear Eagle tires, and then they're mounted to these spoke wheels. And again, on that option sheet, they do have a soft compound tire. Into electronics, Metal Gear Servo, a 2-in-1 speed controller receiver combo from Spectrum. We've seen these in the ARMA cars. This is an IC2 plug. So if you are looking for extra battery packs, perhaps from another brand, make sure it has an IC2 plug so it will be compatible. There's a cooling fan for the motor, and then the 380 size can motor for power. Really solid looking car, and with this power system, I believe it's going to be really durable as well. Let's head outside and hit the asphalt for some laps. I've really been looking forward to getting back behind the wheel of one of these NASCARs ever since I got to drive one of the R&D samples months ago. I'm really happy with my choice. Love the look of this car. So obviously you don't need much to make a track. I just grabbed 6 cones that I had. These are like bike training cones or skating training cones, something like that I found in the store. And you just throw 3 at each end and you got yourself an oval. You could probably find an island in the middle of a parking lot somewhere and use it as your infield. This is a little rough though. So it's actually a little loose in the corners and I really have to roll back on the throttle. You see it slide out there. And this is the exact reason why Losi went with 4-wheel drive. It's just gonna be much easier to manage this car, pull it out of a slide with the 4-wheel drive setup. Now it's got to barrel through this. Actually full throttle. If I widen this track up, it really hooks up. Look at that. Yeah, I think I need to make it a bit bigger of a track. I kept the track small just so you guys could see it better. Yeah, if you just crank on that wheel, it's got a lot of understeer. That's where it's at, full throttle racing. Oh, this is cool. Oh, now it's spun out. Donuts. And no, you don't need to stick with just an oval with this car. It does go left and right. I mean, it's got a neutral setup, so you could really just have fun with this car on a road course, oval, however you want. Actually, figure 8 racing could be cool. All right, I've got the speed meter in, it's registering. We'll get this thing set up. There's a freshly charged 2S pack in there, and the motor is a little bit warm from me running it, but it's not gonna cool down. It's really hot out today. Let's see what this thing's got. I think we hit top speed. We'll just do a return run here. Definitely think we hit top speed. Let's see what we got. 21. The Losi NASCAR is absolutely a fun RC car to drive. I think I got about 20 minutes of runtime in and off the battery pack. It goes 20 miles an hour. It's really easy to drive and it's really easy to get into. And I think that's what Losi was really going for here with this car, is just getting NASCAR fans into the hobby. Those that have never driven an RC car before, they're gonna be able to get this car and start driving around instantly with success. It's fun, it's easy to drive. If you have some sort of spec racing going on locally, it's gotta be a lot of fun. It's gotta be easy for people to get into that racing, and that's what it's really all about. These cars look super cool. I think I picked the best one of the bunch, but I might be a little biased there. Let me know which one your favorite is in the comment section below. And they're even priced well, considering all the licensing that's on them. So if you gotta find out more about this, I definitely recommend you watch this next video.